But life happens. Can I say that to y'all? Because somebody came here and the Lord told me that you're burdened today. Because you're here, you know Jesus loves you. You don't even know how you're going to go forward. Can I just be honest about, can I say something in church? If I knew what I was going to go through, I wouldn't have done this. I found a way to say yes to God and say no at the same time. About 3 years ago, my wife and I were sitting around talking about retirement and how I was going to get out of doing the rest of this, hire another pastor on. And we went to Orlando and picked our retirement home out, a nice condo right outside the city. And we had been married for 31 years. So when you look in the back of the book, you see a woman, it's not her. Don't think I had an affair. Because people in church got imaginations. That day, when I got home, she wasn't home. 9 hours later, we found her body. She had died driving home. Had an aneurysm. And died parked out in front of a little church about a mile from our house. Jerald was the love of my life. She was the only person I thought could ever understand me, because I'm strange. To be a pastor, to be an introvert with a public ministry, you got to be weird. But she was cool with me. Our 5 kids were out of the house. We were going to live it up. She's 53 years old, man. And the coroner said she died in less than 40 seconds. I remember we found her body at 1:30 in the morning sitting in her car. And I crawled away from her body on the ground. And I banged my hands on the ground. And I remember asking somebody, did I cuss God out? Because I don't remember a lot that happened. I remember how upset. I saw her eyes open, but she had been dead for 9 hours. And I remember shouting to God, this is not what you promised me. I served you for 40 years. I did everything you told me to do. And you let this happen to me. For 4 months, I had lost my mind. I never went, after we had this grand funeral for her, this mega church, I didn't know if I could live. I left Chicago and I roamed the country. Pastors all over the country took care of me because I didn't know. I lost 57 pounds in 3-4 months. And I couldn't stand to look at a church. To smell funeral flowers made me nauseous. Now, I've been through hell before. I thought my mother's murder and my little brother's murder when he was 16 years old, that was the worst hell I could ever go through. I've been through a divorce. I got married when I was a kid. And within 3-4 years, we were divorced because I didn't even know what love was. But this woman had been with me for 30-something years. And God, you're going to take her? And I remember God telling me, I still love you. And I cussed at God. I couldn't understand why you had me doing all of this and take my wife. But God's mercy endures forever. Whatever you're dealing with, God's mercy endures forever. God knows you failed at some things and succeeded at others. And maybe your children aren't what you thought they were. Someone told me sometimes your own kids grow up to be people you don't like. He sent someone that Jerald and I knew years ago. We were negotiating a movie deal with Fox years ago, 13 years ago. Was it 13 years ago, Mara? Hadn't seen her in years. And just happened to see she was in a movie and congratulate her. And we started talking on the phone, and she made me laugh. And that doesn't sound spiritual, but you said, I'm a humorous guy, but I hadn't laughed in months. If you live long enough, you'll live more than one life. And God gave me somebody that I could love and would love me just for being me. It's not the same, but it's great. I buried the love of my life, but God gave me a love for the rest of my life. So I have 3 years left on my contract with the church. And I told them I'm going to stay these 38 months and then deuces. I took way too much time. And so I probably don't have time for Q&As. I'll sign the book if you want to later during lunch. But I just want you all to know everything that Dr. Wright talked about is real, and it happens, and it can happen for you. It may not be this, whatever it is. God will not give you a vision that he did not value. And stop looking at your qualifications over God's ability. God didn't call you because you was qualified. God called you because you were available and you had the potential. Many are called, only few are chosen.